Part 3. Jesus' trial. Object, second death. Matthew 27:1. Now when morning had come, all the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. Trial is to put name Jesus to death. It is to decide which object can be selected to represent Jesus' 32 pieces and chessboard at tomb 3. This is tomb at tomb 3. John 2:2. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. 2 Jesus were called for trial. 30 pieces and chessboard. 30 pieces and chessboard. Matthew 27:2. And having bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pilate the governor. Both Jesus are taken to Pilate, 4 gods. These are the 4 gods here. Matthew 27:3. Then Judas, who betrayed him, seeing that he was condemned, regretted and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders. When Judas, Peter, Jesus and Christ entities learned that both Jesus are on trial, trial is to select objects to represent both Jesus. They took back 30 pieces to 4 gods. They have created a new name for object which represent 30 pieces. It is 30 pieces of silver. This is second death, 30 pieces of silver. This is second death of Jesus, 30 pieces at tomb 3B. Matthew 27:5. And he threw the pieces of silver into the temple and departed, and he went away and hanged himself. Judas threw 30 pieces of silver into temple, into chessboard. That's temple too. Object 30 pieces of silver is attached to object temple, chessboard. Temple is new name for object which represent chessboard. Temple, 64 squares. He, 30 pieces and temple are 2 objects went off and hanged themselves. Second death. 2 objects are without life. Jesus before Pilate. Matthew 27:11. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor questioned him, saying, Are you the king of the Jews? And Jesus said, It is as you say. Jesus, 30 pieces, is king. Matthew 27:15-16. At every Passover festival, the Roman governor was in the habit of setting free any one prisoner the crowd asked for. At that time, there was a well-known prisoner named Jesus Barabbas. Jesus Barabbas is new name for 30 pieces and chessboard. They put a new name for 30 pieces and chessboard. Matthew 27:17. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said to them, Whom do you want me to release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ? Which name do you want for chessboard and 30 pieces? That is the question there. Barabbas or Jesus? Matthew 27:26. Then he released to them Barabbas, but Jesus is scourged and delivered up to be crucified. New name Barabbas is removed from Jesus, released. 30 pieces of silver and temple. Matthew 27:38. At that time 2 robbers were crucified with him, one on the right and one on the left. 2 robbers, 2 pairs of robbers, 4 gods were crucified with him, 30 pieces. And chessboard with 4 new names, 4 robbers, 2 on left and 2 on right. Jesus is crucified, second death. Mark 15:20. And when they had mocked him, they stripped him of the purple and put his garments on him. And they laid him out to crucify him. And they led him out to crucify him. Then they, Jesus and Christ entities, led Jesus 30 pieces for crucifixion. Mark 15:21. And they compelled a certain passerby coming from the country, Simon a Cyrenian, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to take up his cross. Simon, 4 gods. These are the 4 gods here. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, Sudras. To take up his cross. Cross now becomes the chessboard. Matthew 27:6. And the chief priest took the pieces of silver and said, It is not lawful to put them into the temple treasury, since it is blood money. Temple treasury is object for chessboard. Matthew 27:7. And after taking counsel, he brought with it the potter's field as a burial place for strangers. For God did not put object 30 pieces into treasury. Chessboard. They put 30 silver pieces into temple. Chessboard. Jesus 30 pieces become object. Jesus 30 pieces of silver. Jesus chessboard becomes objects. Jesus temple. 2 new names on 2 objects at Jesus crucifixion. This is second death at number 3 or tomb 3B. Vedi number 2. Yeah. This is Vedi number 2, where he is crucified.